Have you ever thought of something or maybe written about it, journaled about it, and it just felt so real? Maybe your soul remembered it before your brain even did. That is exactly what happened with me. I had a thought, I created content around it, and I think I've accidentally unlocked a past life or two. Welcome to Random Candace Thoughts. I'm Candace, your favorite mom, nana, and professional overthinker. This is where we talk about the things that you only say to your best friends out loud and all the other random things that pop into my head. So let's get into this. So, for those of you that don't know, I also create short form content across all platforms, Instagram, TikTok. So I had this idea for funny content. Something about being burned at the stake in a past life and vowing revenge across timelines because, obviously that's the energy that I'm in. In that process, I ended up connecting with another creator, super cool, super intuitive, and just happens to do past life readings. So we start chatting, and she offers to do one for Charlie and I. Y'all, I thought it was going to be fun, lighthearted, witchy girl banter. Instead, she read me like a reincarnated diary entry I didn't even know that I had.
It actually feels like you did have a witch past life, probably more than one. But to be honest, what I see when I look into your like the history of the two of you, you and your husband, like together over the course of lifetimes, is he wasn't the one turning you in to try to get you burned at the stake. He was always the one trying to save you, mostly from yourself. All of the lifetimes that I can kind of feel into right now, it's just a very pure and innocent love between the two of you. You guys keep incarnating together because there is such a strong love and there is such a strong connection.
And I'm not saying that prior to that, I had already written a book saying the exact same things and it hasn't been published yet. I'm not saying my book is real, but I'm also not saying that it's real. So she tells me without knowing anything about this book that I was a witch in my past life and Charlie was there, but not how I wrote it. He wasn't the guy who turned me in. He wasn't the villain at all. In fact, he was the one trying to save me from the system, from myself, and from literally getting burned at the stake. And listen, that is exactly what happens in my book over and over and over. Same lesson, just different timelines. I don't want to give up my power, and he just wants me to be safe. But the way she said it, he's not trying to control me, he's trying to protect me. And then I'm the one that keeps pushing him away because I'm still healing this thing in me that thinks letting someone help me means giving up who I am.
In this particular witch lifetime that I'm seeing right now, and I feel like this is kind of a common theme for like the soul contract that the two of you have like over the course of time and many lifetimes, is you, it's like he's along for the ride, very supportive. Um, and I think that his ability to influence you, to convince you that like he has your best interests at heart, and he really does know like not what's best, but that he, I don't know, like that he's capable of leading, or like he is perfectly capable.
It hits so hard because, yeah, that's real. That's me, even in this life. I don't ask for help. I'm constantly in survival mode. I like to lead and I need to know just a little bit about everything. And he just wants to make sure I don't burn out.
I think that the lesson for you is allowing someone outside of yourself, particularly a man, to have influence over you. And this is absolutely a theme over the course of many lifetimes for you.
So here we are again. Same souls, new rules, obviously, trying to figure out how to be in this life together now without repeating the old stuff. Honestly, I feel like this book poured out of me because it wasn't fiction. It was something really deep. Like my soul was remembering it, and I just happened to be holding the pen. The crazy part about it is that I haven't released my book. The only two people that have even seen more than the tiny bit of words that I've put on text in my social media are an editor and a publisher. So a psychic just affirmed all of the themes inside of my story that I wrote, the emotional depth, the soul lesson and connection, the theme of partnership versus control. It all mirrors the heart of my book, Revenge is Forever, but so is love. It was beautiful. The connections between Daly's reading and my book are so aligned. I've got chills. I have literal chills. Just start with the first chapter. The first chapter of my book, I'm being burned at the stake. Charlie's the one lighting the fire. But in the reading, he was never the villain. That exact conflict, that power versus protection is the core of their dynamic. How wild is that? That I wrote him as the one who betrayed her, but he was actually trying to save her. Same event, two truths. The shift in perspective, it just hits so hard. In my reading, Daly says that my recurring soul lesson is letting someone support me without feeling like I'm giving up my power. And that is exactly what I wrote in my book because each lifetime, Charles is trying to protect or manage Candace, and Candace resists. She sees it as control, not care. Their tension is always based on safety versus sovereignty. That push pull between love and fear, freedom and safety. I didn't just write that. It's literally what my soul is working through in real life and apparently has been forever. Daly also talks about the shift in dynamic, and it's the exact same idea as the one that I have in my book. Daly says that he stopped trying to control me and he started trying to understand me. Our relationship dynamic changed after that life. And I didn't even realize this as I wrote it, but their relationship softens in the same exact way mine has. And by the end, Charles isn't trying to save her, he's trusting her. And that's the whole point. And Candace doesn't feel like she's being controlled. He's kind of following her lead, but they're still meeting as equals. And in my book, I have an amulet as a symbol. It represents choice, power, control, and the cost of breaking cycles. In the book, I'm holding the amulet, and it's like a direct mirror of me holding my own power. And that final choice that they have is about trust. And really, it's me and trusting in myself and trusting in Charlie. It's wild because I thought the amulet was a plot device, but now I see it was me holding on to the idea that I had to do everything alone. Breaking it, that's the surrender. Daly said that I'm learning to sit in neutrality and trust in my energetic power when the world feels chaotic. And I transmute pain into magic. and I thought I was writing fiction. Turns out I was healing. Every version of Candace in my book was just a version of me. Her power starts with fire and rage, and by the end, it becomes choice and clarity. So apparently, I was burned at the stake in a past life, and honestly, that tracks. And before we wrap up, I want to share this week's Oliver's Light, something good, grounding, and something that reminds us that even in the heaviest moments, light always finds a way to shine through. And this week's light is the reminder that some stories don't come from imagination, they come from remembrance. Whether you believe in past lives or not, I think we've all felt that strange pull, like we've been here before, like certain people aren't new to us. And maybe the work we're doing now, healing, writing, growing, isn't just for us. Maybe it's for the parts of us that never got to finish our story. And this week, I'm honoring Oliver by trusting my intuition more, by creating with my whole heart and believing that when we share the deepest parts of ourselves, our truth, our magic, our wounds, we give other people permission to heal too. And that's Oliver's Light for today. Moral of the book story is trust your gut. Don't ignore those little things or ideas that feel too real. Maybe the love of your life wasn't the one who betrayed you. Maybe it was the one who carried your magic after you were gone. Revenge is forever, but so is love, is the most personal thing I've ever written. It was a fantasy novel, and now it feels like I've lived it in my bones before I even typed the first word. But thanks for listening to today's episode of Random Candace Thoughts. If you have a random thought of your own, make sure you share it with me on social media. Just a marketing chick on Instagram, or just a Florida chick on TikTok, or just leave me a comment here. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow daily. If you want a reading, she is available. I will leave her link in the show notes. Until next time, stay random and keep chasing those dang dreams.